Have you ever woken up with a stiff body, aching back, or the feeling that you didn't rest at all, even though you spent the whole night in bed? What if I told you that the way you sleep, your body's position at night, could be aging you faster, overloading your organs, and even increasing the risk of silent diseases? My name is Dr. William Tharnell, a specialist in elderly health with over 25 years of experience in geriatrics and integrative medicine. Over the past decades, I've treated thousands of patients in clinics and hospitals, and one of the most common mistakes I see almost every day starts the moment a person lies down to sleep. At 60, 70, or 80 years old, our bodies no longer respond the same way. More fragile bones, sensitive joints, lungs with reduced capacity. Poor sleep, or sleeping in the wrong position, can worsen pain, harm the brain, raise blood pressure, and even interfere with digestion. And the worst part? Many people don't even suspect it. In this video, we'll talk clearly, directly, and practically about the best sleeping position after 60, and more importantly, the one that's silently damaging thousands of people's bodies every night. If you're here to live with more independence, prevent diseases, and enjoy this phase of life with better health, then stay with me until the end. Take a moment to like this video, share it with someone in your family who also deserves better sleep, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any health and longevity content. And tell me in the comments, what position do you usually sleep in? On your side, on your back, or on your stomach? Your experience could help others too. Sleeping seems like a simple activity, but as the years go by, it requires care that many people ignore. That's because, after 60, the body undergoes a series of physiological changes that make sleeping position much more relevant than in youth. Bone density decreases, joints become less lubricated, muscles lose some flexibility, and even spinal discs begin to wear out naturally. This means any poorly distributed pressure during sleep can cause pain, inflammation, or nerve compression. Additionally, blood circulation slows with age. Sleeping in improper positions can worsen this condition, contributing to swelling, tingling, or even aggravating conditions like sleep apnea, which affects over 936 million people worldwide, according to the World Sleep Society. And it's not just the body that suffers. A bad night's sleep directly interferes with brain function. Studies from the University of Washington show that poor sleep in older age is linked to higher risks of dementia, depression, and accelerated cognitive decline. Sleeping well and in the right position isn't a luxury, it's taking care of your health, your memory, and your well-being. And that's exactly why we need to understand what happens to the body during sleep. While you sleep, your body works. It may seem like everything is shut down, but in reality, your body enters one of its most active and important phases of the day. The brain performs a kind of cleanup, removing accumulated toxins. Muscles recover. Hormones are regulated. Memory is consolidated. The immune system strengthens. But after 60, this process becomes less efficient and more vulnerable. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that, with aging, sleep becomes fragmented. Deep sleep cycles decrease. Melatonin production drops. And the risk of disorders like insomnia, apnea, and restless leg syndrome increases. Additionally, metabolism slows, and blood pressure fluctuates more easily at night. If your sleeping position negatively affects breathing, circulation, or posture, it can compromise this entire nighttime recovery process. A simple example, if your neck stays twisted for hours, cervical nerves can be compressed, triggering pain that spreads to your shoulders and arms the next day. If your spine is misaligned, your lower back muscles tense up. If your lungs are compressed, blood oxygenation decreases. Sleep, therefore, isn't just rest. It's a natural treatment your body performs on its own. But it only works fully if given the right conditions. And sleeping position is one of the most critical factors. Few people realize it, but how you position your body during sleep can directly influence the function of your internal organs, especially your lungs, heart, and joints. Let's start with the lungs. When you sleep in a position that compresses your chest, like on your stomach or curled up on your side, lung expansion is limited. This reduces blood oxygenation and strains the respiratory system. In older adults, who already have naturally reduced lung capacity, This restriction can cause fatigue upon waking, shortness of breath, or even worsen conditions like COPD or sleep apnea. The heart also suffers in certain positions. Sleeping on your right side, for example, can slightly compress the inferior vena cava, responsible for returning blood to the heart. This can hinder venous return and raise blood pressure at night, especially in people with heart failure or hypertension. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that cardiac patients who prefer sleeping on their left side tend to have better circulatory performance. And what about joints? Lying with twisted knees, poorly supported necks, or misaligned spines creates constant strain on areas already sensitive due to natural wear and tear. Knees, hips, shoulders, and vertebrae suffer repeated microtraumas, which over time turn into chronic pain, inflammation, or even mobility issues. In other words, the wrong sleeping posture doesn't just cause discomfort, it can literally make your body silently sick, night after night. Among all sleeping positions, there's one that can be especially dangerous for those over 60, sleeping on your stomach, face down. This position, unfortunately, is more common than you might think. Many older adults have slept this way for decades, since youth, without ever questioning if it was the best choice. For some, it may even feel more comfortable or natural. But the truth is, this position is among the most harmful to the body, especially in older age. Sleeping on your stomach forces your cervical spine to twist for hours, straining neck muscles and potentially affecting the nerves controlling your arms and hands. This prolonged twisting leads to stiffness upon waking, headaches, and even tingling in the extremities. Additionally, when you sleep with your abdomen pressed against the mattress, your internal organs are compressed. This disrupts breathing, reduces oxygenation, and prevents optimal diaphragm expansion. That's why many older adults who sleep on their stomachs report unexplained fatigue throughout the day, even after sleeping well. There's also an impact on the lower back. Sleeping face down curves the spine backward, creating an artificial lordosis. This puts pressure on lumbar vertebrae and worsens back pain. And why is this position so common? Because it can give a false sense of security and comfort, especially for anxious people. The body molds to the mattress and, at first glance, seems comfortable. But what many don't realize is that the price for this comfort appears gradually, in the form of pain, inflammation, and chronic fatigue. At 60 or older, sleeping on your stomach can pose an even greater risk than imagined, and the danger is that the effects of this position don't appear all at once. They accumulate silently, night after night. When lying face down, your neck must turn to one side so you can breathe. This forced rotation, maintained for hours, puts excessive pressure on cervical vertebrae. Over time, this can lead to pinched nerves, loss of mobility, and pain radiating to shoulders, arms, and hands. Many patients come to my office without even suspecting that their pain stems from how they sleep. Another silent risk is for those with osteoarthritis or herniated discs. In these cases, sleeping on your stomach intensifies compression on intervertebral discs, potentially worsening inflammation or even triggering acute pain episodes. In older adults with fragile bones, this continuous pressure accelerates spinal wear. There's also the impact on breathing. When lungs are compressed against the mattress, gas exchange is impaired. This means less oxygen circulating in the body overnight, which can affect brain function, the cardiovascular system, and even immunity. And then there's the effect on the heart. In people with arrhythmias, heart failure, or unregulated blood pressure, sleeping on your stomach can trigger changes in heart rhythm, especially if the chest is poorly positioned. Most older adults who sleep on their stomachs don't immediately notice these effects. But over time, the signs appear: morning pain, constant fatigue, muscle stiffness, and a heavy-headed feeling. The body starts screaming what it's been silently suffering for years. Among all sleeping positions, the side position is often the most recommended for those over 60. But there's a crucial difference between sleeping on the right side and the left, and this choice can directly influence your digestive, circulatory, and heart health. Let's start with the left side. Sleeping on this side favors lymphatic drainage, improves digestive function, and reduces gastric reflux. This happens because the stomach and pancreas are positioned on the left, and lying on this side lets gravity aid digestion. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Gastroenterology showed that patients who sleep on their left side experience a significant reduction in acid reflux symptoms. Additionally, lying on the left side relieves pressure on the inferior vena cava, which carries blood from the legs back to the heart. This improves circulation and reduces the risk of swelling in the extremities, something common among older adults. Now, about the right side. While comfortable for many, this position can partially compress the vena cava and impair venous return, especially in people with heart failure or hypertension. It can also worsen reflux in some cases, precisely because it positions the stomach above the esophagus. This doesn't mean sleeping on your right side is forbidden. But if you suffer from poor digestion, swelling, varicose veins, or circulation issues, the left side may offer clearer, safer benefits. Also important, regardless of the side, the ideal is to keep your knees slightly bent with a pillow between your legs to preserve spinal alignment and avoid hip and knee twisting. Sleeping on your back, or in the supine position as we call it in medicine, is one of the most debated positions when it comes to sleep health in older age. The truth is, while it's better than sleeping on your stomach, it also requires attention and specific care. On one hand, this position maintains the spine's natural alignment and distributes body weight evenly. This can reduce joint pressure, prevent twisting, and minimize back and neck pain, as long as the pillow is correctly positioned and the mattress provides proper support. However, for many older adults, sleeping on the back can worsen or trigger sleep apnea, a disorder where breathing stops for seconds or minutes during the night. This happens because, in this position, the base of the tongue and throat tissues can collapse and obstruct airways, especially if there's muscle laxity or excess weight. This breathing interruption drastically reduces brain oxygenation, causes constant micro-awakenings, and is linked to a higher risk of hypertension, stroke, and cognitive decline. Studies from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine indicate that sleeping on your back significantly increases the frequency of apnea episodes in older patients. Additionally, in people with gastroesophageal reflux, this position can worsen symptoms, since stomach acid tends to rise more easily toward the esophagus. So, if you don't have apnea, reflux, or breathing difficulties, sleeping on your back can be a viable option, as long as you use a pillow that slightly elevates your head and keeps your neck aligned. Otherwise, it may be time to consider a safer, more efficient position. If there's one sleeping position considered the safest, most functional, and most protective for people over 60, it's the left side position with proper support. This conclusion isn't just based on clinical observations but also on numerous geriatric and orthopedic studies worldwide. The University of Rochester in the U.S. published research indicating that sleeping on the left side favors the lymphatic system, which is responsible for removing toxins from the brain during sleep. This process, called brain cleansing, is essential for preventing the buildup of proteins like beta amyloid, a hallmark of Alzheimer's. Additionally, studies from the American Geriatrics Society show that older adults who adopt the side position with a pillow between their knees and proper head support report less lower back pain, better sleep quality, and a lower risk of falls when getting up at night. Orthopedists also emphasize that the side position reduces pressure on the spine and prevents hip and knee twisting, areas heavily affected by osteoarthritis, common in older age. When properly adjusted, this position keeps the spine aligned from the neck to the hips, preserving intervertebral discs and minimizing muscle tension. Another key point, sleeping on the left side also aids digestion, improves heart function, and reduces reflux, benefits widely recognized by integrative and functional medicine specialists. In short, the left side position with proper support isn't just about comfort. It's a health, prevention, and longevity strategy. Changing how you sleep may seem like a challenge, especially if you've spent your whole life lying the same way. But at 60 or older, adapting your sleeping position is a smart and achievable move, as long as it's done carefully and strategically. The first step is creating a stable support base. A firm, but not hard, mattress is essential for keeping your spine aligned. Overly soft mattresses sink in the lumbar and pelvic regions, distorting spinal alignment overnight. Opt for medium-density mattresses with orthopedic support suited to your weight and height. Next, invest in strategic pillows. A good pillow should keep your head aligned with your spine, Not too high or too low. 4 side sleepers. A pillow between the knees helps level the hips and prevents joint twisting. If possible, place a pillow behind your back to prevent rolling over at night. Adaptation also involves routine. Start by sleeping in the new position for 15 to 20 minutes and gradually increase the time. If you wake up in the wrong position, don't get frustrated. This is common. Your body takes time to relearn, but with consistency, it adapts. Another effective tool is using orthopedic pillows or support rolls, like those used in physical therapy clinics. They help maintain proper posture without requiring muscle effort during sleep. There are also positioning belts or straps designed to prevent rolling, especially useful early in the process. And never ignore your body's signals. If you feel discomfort or pain, adjust. The goal isn't rigidity but balance and comfort. The ideal position shouldn't force any part of your body, it should support it. Few people realize it, but the pillow is just as important as the mattress, especially for those over 60. More than just supporting your head, it's a true postural correction tool during sleep. When used correctly, it can prevent pain, improve breathing, and even reduce injury risk. Let's start with the head pillow. It should keep your cervical spine aligned with the rest of your body. If it's too high, your head tilts forward, straining your neck. If it's too low, your neck curves backward, tensing cervical muscles. The balance lies in a medium-height, firm pillow that fills the space between your ear and shoulder, especially if you sleep on your side. Now, the big secret many don't know, the pillow between your legs. This support aligns your hips, prevents knee twisting, and stabilizes your lower back. Without it, the top knee tends to fall forward, creating a twist that strains the hip joint and causes back pain. Another valuable trick is the pillow behind your back. It acts as a natural stopper, preventing you from rolling over at night and returning to an unwanted position, like on your stomach or back. For back sleepers without apnea or reflux, placing a small pillow under your knees can help reduce lower back pressure. This slight elevation aligns the pelvis and lessens the curve of the lower spine. And remember, old pillows lose shape, accumulate dust mites, and stop providing support. Ideally, replace them every 2 years. Also consider orthopedic or memory foam pillows, which mold to your body and offer intelligent support. In short, pillows aren't just about comfort. They're silent allies of your postural health and can transform your sleep quality. Many believe waking up in pain is normal with age. But that's not true. Morning pain shouldn't be ignored. It's a sign that something's wrong overnight. And most of the time, it's directly related to how you sleep. When you wake up with back, neck, or joint pain, your body is trying to tell you it spent hours misaligned. Imagine an elastic band being stretched all night. Upon waking, it's tense, inflamed, sometimes even injured. That's how muscles and tendons react to poor sleeping postures. Lower back pain, for example, is often linked to overly soft mattresses, lack of leg support, or sleeping on your stomach. Neck stiffness is usually tied to poorly positioned pillows or sleeping with your head twisted. Tingling or heaviness in the arms may indicate nerve compression, something that frequently happens when you sleep on one shoulder for too long without proper support. Leg pain, in turn, can arise when hips are misaligned or knees overlap without cushioning. It's also common for people with arthritis, bursitis, or osteoarthritis to feel worse in the morning. This happens because inflammation increases when joints stay strained or compressed during sleep. But take note, morning pain shouldn't be dismissed as an inevitable part of aging. In most cases, it can be prevented with simple adjustments to your sleeping posture, pillow, or mattress. If pain persists, seek medical help, but know that often, the solution lies exactly where you lie down every night. Changing how you sleep may seem like a small thing, but for many, it's a game changer for health and well-being. Take George, 72, and Linda, 68, a couple from North Carolina who struggled with chronic pain and poor sleep until they made one simple decision: adjusting their sleeping positions. George spent most of his life sleeping on his stomach. For years, he woke up with intense lower back pain and arm numbness. He thought it was just aging, until a doctor's visit led to a recommendation to switch to the left side position. At first, it was hard. He kept waking up in his old position. But with support pillows to limit movement and a new orthopedic mattress, his pain vanished within 3 weeks. Today, George says he wakes up more energetic than he did at 50. Linda, on the other hand, always slept on her side, but on her right, without a pillow between her knees. In recent years, she developed reflux and hip pain. After attending a lecture on sleep positions for seniors, she switched to her left side and started using a knee pillow. Her reflux improved dramatically, and her hip pain disappeared in under a month. The most interesting part? Neither needed medication or expensive treatments. They simply made small adjustments to their nighttime routine, guided by medical advice and self-awareness. Stories like these are common. Every day, patients report symptom relief and improved quality of life after correcting something as basic and as neglected as how they sleep. Sleeping better after 60 doesn't require magic formulas, just conscious decisions and practical actions that can start today. The good news? Your body responds quickly when given the right conditions. The bad news? If ignored, the consequences accumulate silently. First, observe. What position do you usually wake up in? How do you feel when you rise? Is your body light or stiff? These questions help identify whether your sleep habits are helping or harming your health. Then, make essential adjustments. Correct your sleeping position. Prefer the left side position with a pillow between your knees and proper head support. If needed, use a back pillow to prevent rolling. Revise your mattress and pillows. If they're over 8 years old or waking up means pain, replace them with orthopedic options and quality foam. Avoid sleeping on your stomach. Even if it feels comfortable, this position harms your body over time. Develop a relaxing nighttime routine. Avoid screens before bed, reduce bright lights, keep the room quiet and cool. Environment matters as much as position. Look for signs of sleep disorders. Frequent snoring, nighttime awakenings, or daytime fatigue may indicate apnea. Seek professional help if needed. Sleeping well is one of the most effective ways to prevent disease, improve mood, protect memory, and live with vitality. It's a daily investment that costs nothing, just attention and care for your body. And remember, it's never too late to change. The quality of your sleep today defines the quality of your life tomorrow. Throughout life, we learn to care for our hearts, diets, medications, and routine checkups. But what many only discover after 60 is that sleep, and how you sleep, is also treatment. One of the most silent, powerful, and neglected. In this video, you've learned that sleeping position isn't an unimportant detail. It's a daily decision that directly influences your spine, brain, internal organs, and how you'll feel tomorrow. You've learned that sleeping on your stomach, though seemingly harmless, can silently undermine your health. You've discovered that the left side, when properly adjusted, is a true ally of longevity. You've heard real stories, scientific studies, and practical strategies that can transform your nighttime routine, and with it, your quality of life. Don't wait for pain to appear. Don't wait for fatigue to take over. Start today. Adjust your pillow. Change your position. Listen to your body. Sleeping well isn't just resting. It's letting your body repair, your mind renew, and your life stay active, lucid, and independent. I'm Dr. William Tharnell. It's been an honor to guide you here. See you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself, because no one else can live your life for you.